Hi, this is Toby, and today I'll be showing you the work I'll be doing on my Acacia longifolia for 2024 to 2025 growing season, and this is going to be part 1 of the video. There's going to be 2 parts because again, this tree's gone to a stage where I have to do a lot of work on it and the work is a bit more detailed now. So, picking up from last part where I've just shown you the pruning of the tree, I've let it grow over winter. You can see there's new shoots starting to come in, there's nice new growth. There is still a bit of scale on some of the older phyllodes, and we have to clean that up. And today I'll be repotting this tree as well. But before we get to repotting it, I will do a quick cleanup of the phyllodes. So all of this old stuff that is kind of diseased, I'm going to try and get rid of because I don't want that many disease. And I will spray the tree down again after I repot it. So you can see everything looks a lot thinner. I'm going to give this a quick prune because I know I'll be reducing a lot of the roots. I know the new growth is just starting to come in, but it has grown over winter, so I'm not too concerned about it not growing. Some of the newer tips I won't remove, but some of the stuff like this that's grown really long over winter, I think I will have to remove. I'll remove some of these phyllodes as well. And I'm just doing this so I can reduce the roots safely without accidentally killing the tree, and hopefully the tree won't die from this repotting because I'm moving into a bonsai pot, so a lot of the roots will be reduced. So you can see with something long like this, I'm just taking it back to a few phyllodes like that, and I'll do that for the entire tree. I think that's it for the pruning before I repot it. You can see some of the newer growth, I've just pinched the tips, but it's time for repotting. I'm going to take the tree out of the pot, I'll wash the roots, and I'll show you the new pot that it's going to be in. So here are the roots. They're just starting to get active. You can see they're turning white, and I will have to tease this and do a bit of root pruning, so let me just quickly go and do that. Before I do any root pruning, let's zoom in on the roots. Now if you remember last time I took a thick root off here, you can see these white roots are what's grown in, and I'm getting better radial roots. I think this will have to be the front of the tree. I know it's a bit bare here on the roots, although the roots look a bit better here. The top of the tree also looks quite nice, so this could be the back and that could be the front, because I've always styled it as this is the front. So that's how we're going to repot it. You can see, if you're wondering what these circles are, they're the little root nodules where the beneficial bacteria live, because acacias do form symbiotic relationships with nitrogen fixing bacteria. So we're going to focus on the roots. Let's get the pot out. I've actually got my tag here. Let's get the pot out. Nice pot like that. Let's check where the front of the pot is. Which side looks a bit better? There's a bit of marking on this side, so I think I'll go with this side, which looks a bit cleaner. So this tree has to fit in. Oh, this tree actually fits in quite well, although this pot is quite shallow, which means I'll have to go and tease some more soil off the bottom and then come back and repot it. So I've just teased a bit more of the roots. I think I need to start pruning because the bottom is actually quite flat. It's actually just the sides here. So let me move this away. Let's start pruning. You can see, hopefully you can see that. So I'm gonna just start pruning the sides. First of all, I'm gonna trim all the edges. Try to save as much of the little nodules as possible. Then I'm gonna just cut the bottom off as well. Here. It's a little bit dense. I'm going to cut that back. I think I can. Yeah. Actually, I need to balance the roots. I need to cut a bit more off here. I'm going to have enough new soil so it can space to grow. Make sure the roots aren't hitting the side of the pot. It's looking really nice. I might just clean this area up before I actually get to repotting it. So let's get to repotting. Now, if you're wondering why the tree is a bit foamy, it's because I just sprayed it with soap and water because there's going to be scale on it and I want to kill it. So I've just done that, and after I repot it, because I'm going to be watering the tree, it'll just wash the soap and water off. And because I can move the tree around, I can actually get to pretty much every single branch. And I will have to scrub the tree as well to get rid of the scale. But let's get to the repotting. I'm going to add a base layer of soil. I've just got some old soil here that's quite sandy because I find that the acacias don't mind sandy soil, and I've added a bit of perlite. So I'm just going to add a thin layer of soil at the bottom. Hopefully I have enough soil. Make a little mound. and I'm going to put the tree here, and that's a bit high. We're going to wiggle it in. That's still a bit high. We'll get rid of some soil because we don't need that much soil. Let's start putting the soil around the tree. Just going to fill in the gaps first, and then we'll use a stake or a chopstick to actually put the soil into the gaps, the roots. We're going to just put the soil into the roots because we teased a lot of it out. So I'm just doing this. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Just adding the soil under the tree. That's looking pretty good. Add some more soil. I'm going to cover these roots because I don't want to expose them just yet. I'll let them thicken up before I tease the soil away from the trunk and I get a nice root system. I'm going to go wash my hands. I'm actually going to just scrub the tree down and get rid of the scale before I water it and wash all the soap and water away. But this is pretty much the repotting done. That's looking quite nice. I will go clean the tree and we'll show you what we've done today. Here is the tree all potted up. Let's see if I can show you. Look at it. Quite proud of this tree. Now, this branch is crossing. I will deal with that when the tree regains vigor. And this part is a bit higher. I do acknowledge that. But other than that, I think it looks really nice. It looks kind of like a little shrubby tree. I do want this to grow in the form of a shrub, not kind of a tree. And I know it looks kind of like a tree right now. So I'll grow the top a bit, probably a bit bushier, but only at the tips. Let's turn it around. So this is the front. You can see I've actually staggered it a bit, just so there's a bit more depth. And I think it actually looks really nice if you look at it from here. Ignoring that branch, that is. But I think it looks really nice. If we come around to the side also looks quite nice. The back, I know it's a bit dirty. The back, I know it's covering more of the branch structure here, but that's okay, that's the back. The other side, which also looks quite nice. In fact, again, this could have been the front as well, which also looks quite nice, but that looks a lot more like a tree. And back to the front, because this part's more open. In fact, I could have even potted it like this, but I think, again, that looks too tree-like, but this makes it quite interesting. So I'll put the tree back, and when it recovers, I will show you another update. You can see the phyllodes look really green because I just cleaned them. But I'm really, really happy with how this tree has developed in the past, I'd say, 4 or 5 years. So here's an update of the Acacia longifolia. I did get a bit of dieback on some of the lower branches, and I've got a dead branch here. But we're going to prune the tree today. Actually, I might even leave some of this dead stuff here because it looks kind of natural. I don't think there's a need to cut it. I mean, I could, but I don't see a point. But you can see some of these branches are really weak, and I've realized after putting it in a shallow pot, the tree's not going to be able to support all this foliage, and some of the branches will eventually be killed off. So I'm going to try and make everything compact today, or as compact as possible. I just leave a few phyllodes on each branch, just so the tree can support it. Again, I'm going to leave this branch unpruned because this branch, again, is for some reason is very weak. But I think that will be fixed. I do need to clean the top because if we look, I don't know if you can see, this tree's quite big, but this part is really tall and I don't want it to be that tall. So this branch, I really need it to be short. I can't even shorten it too much because, again, I barely have any buds. That still looks a bit tall on that side. I really want to take this branch back, but there are no buds. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do. This, you can see some of the stuff I've been cutting back, it just hasn't divided for some reason. But I hope that when I cut it back again, it will. This just has not grown. Very strange. But I'm gonna see if I can get away with cutting it back because I still see buds further back. Even small branches like this, actually we'll leave it because I think it'll grow. So you can see I'm taking everything back where possible. this branch up here is... I think that branch is okay, we'll just take the tip off. And I've got a new shoot here, which I can take back quite hard. You see, I'm keeping everything as compact as possible. This branch, again, I'm going to leave, because it is already quite compact and it's weak, because if I keep pruning it back, it's not going to divide. We come around the side, it's getting a bit long at the back. So I will just take this probably back here, because this branch isn't the strongest either. So I don't want to be taking too much off. Here, I've got this thin branch. I like how the vigor has reduced on this tree, but it's still healthy, so it's not that it's struggling, it's just that it's not growing as much because I've got just a lot more branches now. So each branch is going to grow that much. So I'm going to continue pruning the tree and making it more compact, and I'll show you what it looks like. So here's what it looks like. I know I'm still a bit tall on this side. I can't really do anything else about it. The only thing I can think of is just grow the other side out if possible. But I'm quite happy with it. It doesn't look like an acacia, or it doesn't look like Acacia longifolia, which grows as a shrub. It looks kind of more like a eucalyptus tree or an angophora, but that's okay. It's still looking quite nice, really nice structure here. And again, it's a nice tree that I've grown from a tube stock, so I'm really happy with how it's developed. And you can see, yeah, I think I'll cut this branch back, I missed it. But some of the branches that I haven't really grown in, or have just started growing, I've left so it could gain some vigor, but I think this is looking good. I could do a bit of thinning with the phyllodes. I don't think I need to at this point. It's not super dense and the light can still reach the inside, but if it does become more dense, I'll have to do that. So here's a final pruning of the acacia for this video. Let's see how much it's grown. I haven't really done much to it after I pruned it last. It hasn't really been growing that much, and because the pot's shallow, it hasn't been growing as much. I haven't fed it yet, which is something I probably should do, so I'll give it some of this native fertilizer. I have fed it with the other pellet fertilizer, the bush tucker, and that's usually quite good, but it seems that this tree needs a bit more nutrients. I have new roots growing out of the trunk, which is quite exciting because it's giving me a nice radial root base. I don't know why that's the case, but for the most part, the vigor on the tree has died down. I do have a few dead branches, which is just too bad. These are nice branches. I'm actually going to keep them because I think they look quite nice. And even up here, some of these branches, I mean, there was a problematic area here and I can't fix it now. So I'll have to decide what's going to be kept and what's going to get pruned. The first step is to prune these long shoots back because they're sticking out of the profile. And these long shoots, I can't really do much more than pruning them back. Same with these. The vigor on this tree is not great right now, but that's not too big of an issue. I don't know if it will flower because I can actually just let it grow, so it might actually be able to flower. Most of these shoots aren't even growing. These weaker branches I'm going to keep. This part that's died I will get rid of because I do have quite an awkward branch here, and I was going to consider whether I'm going to keep it or not. I think I will have to keep it. I'll take the dead part off because I've got nothing else here. And even though it's a bit angular, it'll smoothen out. You see, it is not the best branch, but I have nothing else there. Not really much else I need to do to the tree. It's just because it hasn't grown that much. There's not really any stubs I need to prune off. I mean, there could be a few, but these are very small stubs I don't really care about. The tree has matured, so that's good. The trunk's thickening, the bark's starting to flake, I'm getting the wound starting to heal, so I think the only thing I need to do now is just to give it a bit of fertilizer. Not too much, just a bit. I think that's good. Some slow release fertilizer. And that's it for this video. Before I end, I just realized this part is completely died off, and I'll just prune this part off. Yep, so that's the pruning. So I guess we'll take a final look at the tree. Let's spin around. This is the front. This is the side, which can also be the front. The tree actually kind of looks good in pretty much all directions. Maybe not here, it looks a bit weird. The back, also looking quite nice. Going back to the front, I think it still looks the best here. You can see quite a nice shape. I do want the trunk to be a bit thicker, but anyways, thanks for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll answer them. But anyways, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.